Alright, it's the next day. We let it sit overnight. There's kind of flattened out. It's cooled off. I pulled off this ball, and it's not sticky at all. It feels like I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, truly, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a hard Play-Doh, like Play-Doh when it's kind of set for a while. So what I need to do to be able to mix the color in, it's a little hard to mix, to knead. So I'm going to stick it in the microwave for about 5 seconds, and then I'm going to start mixing some color in. This one's going to be a green, and I'm hoping to get like a dark green, like a stem is what we're trying to make. So I'm going to stick it in the microwave for 5 seconds. Okay, I put it in for 5 seconds, and you can see it's much softer, and it got a little soft sticky spot on there. So what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of wax paper down because I don't want to dye my butcher block. It may be okay. I may have been able to bleach it out. I worry about doing it on this butcher block. So I just got wax paper. I'm going to just sprinkle some powdered sugar out, and you know what? I should get a pair of gloves. You could do it without gloves if you want to. I really don't want to have any tie-dyed hands, so I'm going to go grab a pair of gloves real quick. Okay, I'm struggling with these little bitty hand gloves, and my hands aren't very big, so if you got bigger hands than me, then you got trouble putting these on. But these are food-safe gloves. They have no powder on them. You don't want powder to, like talcum powder, to fit on there, get on your stuff. So anyway, I've got my dough, and I'm just gonna kind of knead it just a little bit, just to kind of get it softened up. And what I want to do is I'm making an indentation in the middle. And since I'm making green, I'm just going to put a couple of drops. I'm going to do 2 just to see it. Maybe way too much, we'll see. And kind of fold it into your fondant. And we're just going to work and just keep kneading it. And pretty soon all that green will start coming through. And if it's not green enough, we can add more to it. That's really the color we're looking for right there, wouldn't you think? So if I can get the whole thing to look like that, then I'll be in good shape. Okay. That is definitely not a dark green for a stem, so I'm going to put maybe 3 or 4 more drops in there. You can see all that would have been all over your hands, so it would have been a good thing to have all over your hands. And every once in a while, I just go in there and get some more powdered sugar because it gets a little warm in my hands and it gets a little sticky. You can hear it sticking to my gloves. Gives you a workout in your forearms. Let me add a few more drops. Again, I'm trying to get a dark green. And from what I've read, if you have the food coloring gel, they work a lot better. You don't have to put as much. This is just liquid food coloring you make eggs with, or frosting or whatever. But the gel I've heard is really, really good. I just didn't have any to try this out with. I have some gel, but it's a little bitty cases of it, and I don't have the colors I need. So that might be good right there. Now that it's getting pretty close to the color I want, what I've got to do is keep working it until it gets...
it matches your shirt.
You want it to get to where it's an even consistency. You don't want it to be like bright in some areas and dark in others. Good thing is food coloring is cheap, so. Let me do it one more time, and then I'll put 4 more drops. And we'll just, whatever we get out of this, this is where we're going to leave it. I'm pretty happy with that though. That looks pretty good. All right, we're going to use this for the other piece of this, which is actually going to end up being pumpkins. So that's what we're going to do. This is going to be orange, which hopefully I can get a really deep orange. And this is going to be the stems for it, and that feels funny. And I'm still not 100% happy with the color. I wish it was darker green, but that's good. I mean, that's good enough. For this, I'm going to put it on the plate again and heat it in the microwave probably, I don't know, probably I'll probably try it 5 seconds, and if it's not soft enough, I may go a couple more seconds on it. But then I'm going to mix this one up in this bowl so it doesn't make a mess everywhere, so I can work it in the bowl. The remaining fondant that I have, I've pushed out as much air as I can out of it. I'm going to seal it up, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for, it'll store for 3 or 4 weeks like this. So we can use it for other projects. We can make other things with it as long as we're doing it for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, I'm going to knead it some just to soften it up and get it, the heat, the warmth all mixed up in there, kind of equally distributed. I had to put this one on 5 seconds, flipped it over, did another 5 seconds. It still wasn't soft enough, so I flipped it over and did it 5 more. It's still firm, but it's pliable enough to where I can actually squish it around. So I'm going to work it, I'm going to knead it up a little bit more. It's very stiff right now, but I'm thinking it will warm up as I do get my hands and as it sits out for a while too. So, okay, I kneaded it out kind of to a flat thing, so I'm going to put it in the bowl, and I put powdered sugar in the bottom just so it won't stick too bad. And for making orange, you're supposed to put 1 red to 2 yellow to make orange. So I actually don't have a lot of yellow right now, so I'm going to do what yellow I have, and I'll count those out, and then I'll half that for the red. So 6. So I got 6 yellow, so let me get 3 red, and I'm going to be brave. Good thing I was just right. I have another thing of red and yellow over here. I'm not using gloves this time, so I'll probably have tie-dyed hands. That's okay. It's not like I work somewhere where they'd make fun of me or anything. It'd be easier if I could just do this on the cutting board, but I'm so afraid of staining it that I really don't. You know, it'd be nice if I could just put this on the cutting board and do it. And if you have an old cutting board, or if you have something you could lay it down on your old cutting board, I mean, you could do it that way. If there's any guys out there watching, this will remind you of mixing up epoxy putty. Like the 2 parts of epoxy where you have to get the 2 parts together and mix them up, and it's about that stiff too. It's a good orange color, it just needs to be a little darker. I'm going to be brave. This red does not have a dropper on it, so I'm just going to add. The color is nice. I like the orange how it's coming out, but it needs to be orange like a pumpkin, so it needs to be really orange. So I'm just going to try to pour a little bit on there, and then I need twice as much of this as that. So looks like I cut my hand open here.
Bloody.
I cut my hand. That's not food coloring. Good thing it's a good sturdy bowl, because I wouldn't want to do this on a cheap bowl, because I'm pushing on it pretty hard. Once I get it kind of mixed in there, I will probably pick it up and start folding it in my hands again like I was doing just a minute ago. And once it's not liquid anymore, yeah, hopefully some of that comes off. I got some bleach. I'll just soak my hands in bleach water. But I've noticed something about this fondant, and maybe it's all fondant. I really haven't worked with fondant, so I don't know. Maybe that's how it is. But it gets sticky after, just not really sticky, like like a taffy. If you were to leave a taffy like sitting out, it's not quite that sticky, I guess. I don't know how to even describe it. It's just slightly sticky. It's not bad, it's just a little sticky. That's actually probably going to be a pretty good orange right there, I think. Now I don't think this is going to stain anything else. I'm going to use our cutting board and kind of knead it on there. That's pretty good orange color for a pumpkin, I think. So I'm happy with it. So now I'm going to try to scrub as much of this as I can off my hands, and then we'll start molding them into pumpkin shapes.